Welcome, Fly Tribe and the Solution Seekers, and welcome to the Painful Truth Podcast, where we dive deep into the depths of uncomfortable topics, from health and fitness all the way to the painstaking topic of politics. Are you ready to unite and find solutions together? Let's go. All right, welcome, Fly Tribe, and welcome to the Painful Truth Podcast, where we talk about uncomfortable topics in order to grow as a human being and as an aerial athlete. All right, so today's podcast, we're going to talk about how to 10x your aerial skills and the solutions. And first of all, what does that even mean? What does 10xing your aerial skills even mean? Well, in my eyes, feeling lighter in the sky. When executing your aerial skills and tricks, feeling lighter. That would be one way to really feel up-leveled. And I know when I was working and training as a professional aerialist, there were days where I would come in and I would feel like a sack of potatoes. And then there would be some days where I felt light as a feather. Well, when you're working every day and you have to make it work, I figured out really quick a system that worked for me, that made me feel light as a feather. Every day I stepped up to perform. And I'm going to show you and teach you some ways and some solutions that will also help you feel lighter in the air and in the sky. And when you feel that way, you also look that way to the audience's eye. And maybe you're not performing, but, don't you want to feel lighter in the sky? All right. So number 2, no more micro bends, right? Those infamous micro bends. So it's just really a matter of learning how to extend through the lines and really figuring out how to strategize the correct and proper exercises you need in order to be able to extend those legs. All right. So we're going to find some solutions on how we can do that. Number 3, having more grace and poise in the sky. Right? Who doesn't want to have more grace and look better in the sky? Of course. I always tell my students, anyone can do the trick. Literally, anyone can learn the trick. But it's how you execute the trick. It's how you put your own flair and uniqueness on the trick. All right, so better toes and better toe points. I know you and everyone listening to this podcast has all heard at some point in your aerial training, point your toes. And it's so infamous, right? So a lot of people end up scrunching their toes or like bending their toes instead of actually pushing through the top of the foot, reaching through the top of the foot and reaching down for that point. So ways that we can find solutions on how to better toe point. That is one way you'll be able to 10x and up-level your skills. Intentional control with your body in the sky. No more flopping around. I see this so often from aerialists. And it's literally because they skip a lot of the progressions before attempting harder tricks and harder skills. It really is important to learn what the progressions are so that you do look better in the sky. You don't look so floppy and so rigid and heavy. And, when you take the time to go back to the basics and learn the progressions and really train the really detailed, minute little techniques and exercises, you're really able to really up-level the way you look in the sky, and really being able to control your body better in the sky. And we're going to find some solutions on how we can do that. Understanding progressions so that learning skills become second nature instead of a struggle and what could potentially be an injury, right? So finding the harmony with cross training and finding that true balance of an effective training strategy. So it really is important to learn that cross training and being willing to cross train, because that's more than anything that what I see from aerialists is they just don't take the time or make the priority to cross train. And I don't want to blame anyone, because I see a lot of times people just don't know how. People are not taught. So I'm going to teach you how to create a strategy on how to create a really good weekly workout training strategy where it's going to be beneficial for you so that it really counts for up leveling and 10xing your aerial skills. So really putting the ego aside and remembering the journey. Humbleness as you grow as an athlete, because literally, guys, as a professional aerialist, I really got to see a lot of nasty ego. And I have to say, it wasn't there before I became, well, it was there. Oh, I hate to say it. It was there before in the training as well. And I hate that, because it really doesn't have to be there, the ego. We all started somewhere. It was all hard at some point. And honestly, if you're challenging yourself, it's always going to be hard. So having grace on your neighbor, who should be your friend and someone you support, because look, we should be helping people raise our vibration, raise our frequency. When we put each other down, or when we look at each other or look at one another being like, oh, I'm better than that person, or oh gosh, look at that, you're only lowering your vibration. So guys, really help each other, and think about constructive criticism. There you go. Sorry about that. And think about the journey. Remember where you came from, because I certainly remember where I came from, but I will be honest, I got a little lost along the way. When you do become professional and when you become a certain level, it kind of does something to your mind. I'm not really sure, but when people are constantly telling you, oh my God, you're so amazing. Well, hello, that's gonna wake up a part of an ego that's probably, you can either take it to a level of like an ego that's not so great, that's only kind of like taking, or you can go to an ego that's like humble and, remembering where you came from, and a gracious ego. So all of this can be accomplished by doing one thing, okay? And I said it before, it's literally going back to the basics. Guys, literally, it's the small techniques and drills and exercises that need trained more. Like I said before, we'll have traveling aerialists that come through Flying Fitness. And I love it when we do, because I love meeting new aerialists. And because, like I said, I come from a place of we're all in this together, right? But I can always tell when someone has a weird ego. And everyone that comes through my doors, they always tell me they are an advanced skill level in aerial. And then they come to my classes and they flop around in the sky, and they can't use their core correctly. And I just want to be like, yikes, let's back up, way back up, but of course you don't want to offend anybody. And then it's like, because as an aerialist, when people already know stuff, as a coach, when you ask them to back up, they look at you like you don't know what you're talking about. And which is a shame, but because you really, as an aerialist, as an aerial athlete, you should be willing to train the basics, the fundamentals. It's just like a ballerina. It's just like ballet. You know, when you're wanting to learn and be a great dancer, you train the basics, you train the fundamentals. So, do you ever take a newbie or beginner class? You definitely should. You definitely should. And the reason why, and you should be humble in that class, and you should not look at people weird because they're not getting something that's so easy, like a footlock or something. You should have grace, and you should not stare at people in class when they're working on something. Like mind your own business. I cannot stand that from people. And the reason why you should take a beginner or newbie class is literally so you can 10x your skills. It's those basic and fundamental techniques and like drills and exercises that will literally push your level to the next level and make you look more gracious in the sky. It'll make you look more effortless in the sky. It'll make you feel lighter in the sky. It'll make you have more control over your body. All right. All of these things will start to come together literally automatically. And if you learn how to strategize your workout, and if you're consistent with that workout and create a routine, then before you know it, you're going to be like this amazing aerial athlete, all from just creating a beneficial, effective, strategic workout, weekly workout, and staying consistent with it 90% of the time. That's all you need. 90% of the time, staying consistent with your practice, with your routine, with your strategic routine, which I'm going to show you and teach you how to do that. Okay. All right. So it is literally, and like I say, the reason why you want to do this is because it's going to help you 10x your skills. If you remember long ago, back when you started aerial, the tedious basic skills you did over and over, remember those? I make my students do them all the time still. And it's literally drills like footlock, sit and stand. That's like a freaking pistol squat in the air, people. Okay, that is not easy. But what it's going to do is it's going to build foot strength, ankle strength, knee strength, overall leg strength, pelvic strength, stability in the overall body. It's going to create overall core strength from the inside out. Okay, along with your grip strength. I mean, I can go on and on because it's like a full body thing, right? But it just goes to show it's those tedious basic skills that you need to do over and over, and that you need to put in and plug into your workout, to your routine, like your weekly training routine. So I still, like I said, I still make my students do them, and you can tell they have technical training because which I'm really proud of that, honestly. And like I said, you can tell it from the students that come and travel and come into the Flying Fitness studio versus the students that come each week. It's just a night and day difference, technical versus floppy. And it's literally, like I was saying, it's like a dancer who trains ballet for technical training, but their goal is to be like a well-rounded dancer, right? Maybe the dancer specifically is like a modern dancer training ballet and going back to the basics will only 10x the dancer's skill. Like I see it all the time in the dancers that I train, private training lessons. I train a lot of dancers in private lessons. And most people do not go the extra mile, people. Okay. So literally strategizing your weekly training workout and routine is literally in itself going the extra mile. Okay. So literally cross training and stop training only on your apparatus. You have to cross train, people. That means you need to do some flexibility work. You need to do some weightlifting work. You need to do cross training work. Okay. There's a lot. Circus is a lot. Okay. Because it's not just like strongman weightlifting. It's not just gymnastics where you're flipping around on the ground. No, it's flipping around in the sky and weightlifting at the same time. Yeah, it's a lot. So guys, so literally, like I said, most people are not doing this. It's going the extra mile. There is usually an excuse that lays in the way of reaching the true potential. So if you want an edge on the industry as a whole, go back to the basics and always cross train. Cross train. Quick question. Have you ever taken a ballet bar class? Okay. Well, I teach aerial bar, and I tell you what, in our aerial bar classes, it's freaking hard, okay? And regular bar is freaking hard. And I always tell people, we're just lifting our leg. It's really hilarious because literally you're just like lifting your leg, and it's like the most brutal thing in the world. But dang, doing those small movements over and over gives us the strength, stability, the flexibility we need to be able to successfully learn other skills like aerial. What are some of the basics talking about aerial silks? So let's just go through a few, like the foot and ankle strength, okay? Core strength, the nimbleness and flexibility, the hand grip. These are all things that would be considered basic things in aerial silks that you would need to train consistently in order to have a strong foundation. Hollow body work, general strength and conditioning exercises, basic skill drilling. Okay, let me back up a little bit. General strength and conditioning exercises, guys, this has to do with that cross training. All right, and I know nobody wants to do a freaking plank. Okay, nobody wants to do a freaking push-up, but you got to do them. If you can't do a freaking push-up, then why on earth are you trying to do a freaking flip in the sky, 20 feet in the sky? You have no business doing it. That's why. So back on up, and once you can hit a minute, then you can proceed on, right? I mean, come on. It all goes down to that self-responsibility. And we talked about that in one of the podcasts, okay? So basic skills like drilling, building the foundation. And we talked about that above, kind of like those foot locks. Like I have my students drill flying foot locks, depending if they're beginner or newbie. If they're beginning and newbie and not doing flying foot locks yet, they would just do them on the ground and hold flying foot, like a flying hollow body for 5 to 10 seconds, and then come down and repeat other side. And it's a drill. Even though it might be easy for them, they have to drill it so that it continues to build and keep that strong foundation. So progressional skill drilling, learning pathways in the brain. This is really important as well. And this is I would consider a basic skill for aerial. And this is for any aerial work. You need to constantly be learning those cross pattern pathways and learning progressional skills and being willing to break skills down in a progressional way and drill them until the pathway is second nature in your body. Because look, guys, when you're at 20 feet, 30 feet in the sky, you don't want to have to be thinking too much. You want it to be in your body. But with that said, you always want to be highly alert when you're in the air. And I learned that in the hard way, because, and I'll tell you a little quick story here. I was performing for Ringling Brothers, and this was during the pre-show. And during the pre-show, I did an aerial silk act. And so every, time before the show, I would go behind the stage and get prepared. And I had a routine I would do to warm my body up again, because I already warmed up, but you have to constantly stay warm, right? So I was doing that. And then I went on stage and I was doing my act. And then all of a sudden I just kind of like came to, and I guess I had kind of blacked out, and I was in the sky. I was wrapped up, and I kind of freaked out for a moment, gathered my thoughts, just undid myself, and just proceeded on. But it was a wake up call for me to be like, whoa, like this cannot be a mechanical thing for me. Like, I have to be highly alert, not only physically, but mentally. So that's when I added a mental workout for myself, but routine before I went on stage. And so it's just really important to stay very alert with aerial. All right, so let's see, going back. So do you guys have trouble putting your aerial workout together to make it count? Can't seem to find like an organization to your workout schedule? I used to have a hard time with this as well. Because literally, like I said, it's circus, and circus is so much. There's a lot to circus. It's not just gymnastics. It's not just aerial. It's not just dance. It's not just having to have a good foundation and work out. It's not just flexibility. Oh gosh, you see what I'm saying? There's so much to circus, right? And I remember when I was in circus school, they put together, it was a weekly guide for us to follow. It was great. It really helped me tremendously, since I was already super overwhelmed with training every day and trying to fund and work for school, which I had to travel an hour away to work, right? And so it was just really overwhelming at that time. And for them to put a weekly guide for us together on just kind of like some basics of what we should do, was really great. This is why I put together a free, simple guide to teach you guys how to put your own aerial workout together as well. And this is going to help you guys 10x your aerial skills and your level. So all you have to do is just go to my Instagram at flying.fitnesstx, or you can go to my YouTube, which is also Flying Fitness. Under this podcast, which is how to 10x your aerial skills, you can grab your free guide on how to learn to organize your aerial workout to 10x your aerial skills. All right, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope it helps you. I hope it helps you think about how to, reorganize your training workout during the week, and how to make it count more for you and up level your skills and your abilities. After all, I want to see you guys succeed as an aerial athlete. And if you found this podcast enjoyable and helpful, I hope you share it with your friend, your aerial friend, and also tag us, and we will put you in a drawing to win a free program of ours. All you have to do is go to that Instagram, tag our Instagram page, basically, at flying.fitnesstx, tag us, and put it in your stories, and we will enter you in a chance to win a free Flying Fitness online program. All right, guys, we can't wait to see you next week. Until then, I'll see you then. Bye-bye.